250, 60, 250, 60 again. So, at the end of the straight lines, we gain everywhere high speed, very high speed. I try to, English briefing? I try to say this speed in a different way. 75 meters per second. Did you run sometime when you were young or also now 100 meters? We take 1 second. One. So every second we have almost 100 meters. And you have to think, for example, that at the end of the main straight line here, we ask you to brake at 300 meters. That in the real, you feel that we ask you to brake at 300 meters. But in the real, from full throttle to the brake, it takes almost 1 second. And if we have 100 meters per second, 75 meters per second, in 1 second we brake at 200 meters. Okay? And we slow down in the first corner, we slow down 240 per hour in 200 meters. So when we ask you to brake, please brake hard. There is no time to think. We have to program everything we do. Because if we arrive just in time, it's too late, always. Okay? Which is our job? We are seated beside you. We don't have double pedal. We don't have handbrake. We don't have keys because the modern cars don't have keys. Nothing. You cannot turn on the engine. You can do nothing. So it is quite hard to say that we keep our life in your hands. Or less. Why you say that? Because to allow you to go fast and safe, we need to feel that we are enabled. Because our job is not to show you that we are faster than you, we are better than you, or someone else. Our job is to give you the chance to have fun from the first meter to the end of your experience. Because we will send you many informations about what we are going to do and what you need to do to go fast and safe. So we set up all the informations in base of your skill. So when you jump in the car, we understand normally the 95% of what will happen. 3% more we understand in the first corner. The 100% will be understood in the second corner. So, if your driving skill is in the stairs or 0 is 80, we will give you information for 81, not for 85. If your stair is 40, we will give you information for 40. You have to have fun. You have not to be stressed. This is a big difference because if you are stressed, you don't have fun. So our job is to keep you in your comfort zone, take you out and take you back, take you out and take you back. Okay. But if you stay out from your comfort zone, you start to become wet. So you get wet, you start to shake with the hands and with the legs, you start to breathe very short, and we hear everything because we are connected by radio with the helmet, with the headphones, and we hear everything very loud and clear. About it, everything is recorded, also bad words. So if you say bad words when you will see your video at home, don't forget it. Everything is recorded. Okay. This is the scenario, okay? Now, let's talk about how we brake. That's the most important thing. from this, you understand that how we feel safe. We feel safe if we ask you to brake and we feel the car slowing down. We feel safe if we ask you to go on the gas and we feel that you go on the gas progressive. You don't touch the gas like that, okay? We start from the braking part. That's the most important and most difficult. Why? Because the first part of braking, we have to use a high power on the brake. Normally use 20. Here we have to use 80. Okay, so much more power on the brake. Don't be scared of the brake. But this is the easiest thing, because, for example, if you arrive here and you don't brake enough, we say, you didn't brake enough, we need more power on the brake. You arrive here, you use more power, and that's it. It's done, okay? When the problem arrives, when we need to turn in the corner, this is the our car, okay? So we go in this direction, we brake very hard, we have a weight transfer in the front. If we turn with the car in this position, the car will turn very fast because we will have a big grip on the front, because all the weight of the 80% of the weight of the car is on the front wheels, so we have a big grip there. When we turn the steering, the car will turn very fast, but the rear will be very light, so it's very easy to slide. Now, we use ESP, we use electronic systems in with the sport mode, so they works, but there is always a but. In tracks like Monza, we have everywhere high speed, and with the high speed, electronic systems say you bye-bye, because inertia will win on the electronic system. So, where we have to be careful. When we brake very hard, we have to think that we have the maximum performance from the car when the car is flat. Okay? So our target is to keep the car flat to turn. Because if we have 4 wheels on the asphalt, it will be easier to turn. We have more grip. So the most difficult part is to brake very hard, is okay, but trail the brake in the corner. So we have not to lift off the brake. What happened? So most common mistakes. We brake very hard and we start to wave on the brake. Because someone teach us that we have to brake like that to save the brakes pads on this car. And someone has different techniques. But here we are in front, okay? Big argument, this one. So we brake very hard, we stay on the brake, and we start to reduce the pressure on the brake progressively. And when we lift off the brake, when we turn in the corner, we feel the car turning. So we have to train the brake until the apex. If we lift off the brake, so we brake very hard, and we lift off the brake before turning, we have a weight transfer on the back. So our front will be very light, and you will feel under steer. So you will lose the grip on the front tires. For this reason, we say that before turning and when we turn, we have to keep the nose of the car on the asphalt. When we are to the apex and we feel the car turning, we lift off the brake. Just in this moment, we lift off the brake and we start to think about gain speed. Again, to gain speed, we have to be very careful because we have 610, 640, 670, 720 horsepower under our seat. It's always a big party with this amount of power, but always a party. This is the party, this is the hell. This line is very tight. So use the gas in in the wrong way, with the wrong technique, is very, very dangerous. It doesn't mean that we have not to use it. Absolutely yes, but with the right technique. We will ask you many times to gas, 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 gas. I'm sure, okay. But we will go on the gas, full throttle, with this, when the steering will be straight. Never with the steering turn, okay? That's very, very important. Now I have a question for you. I'm braking very hard, okay, here. I need to turn in the corner. How I decide when it's time to start to reduce the pressure on the brake, and how I decide when it's time to lift off the brake and go on the gas. Which is the sensor that I use on my body to understand itself, to understand when it's time to start to reduce the pressure of the brake. Which is the sensor that I use?
The G-force, the front light,
Better.
the eyes.
The eye.
Eyes. So, if I have a left, this is correct because you feel after. But when you brake, if you don't have a target, you will never feel the speed. You will never feel the distance. So if you feel the distance, based on the speed, you will understand if you have to stay on the brake or you can start to reduce the pressure. At the same time, when you have to gain speed, you will understand, and it will be very easier to gain speed if we watch very far. So when we brake, our target is the apex. When we have to gain speed, our target is the end of the outside line, and normally it's the end of the curve. If you watch there, it will be very helpful to keep the steering straight. If you watch there, it will be helpful to be easy to stay like that. You will stay on the steering. But when you feel on the steer, because if you stay in the steering like that, you watch there, you go on the gas, you feel on the steering, and your wheels are in this position. You feel on the steering, you lift up the brakes, the gas. When you lift up the gas, you have a weight transfer. The weight transfer, when the wheels in this position, you turn. This is the reason why here, 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 and here we have many black marks on the asphalt and many round marks on the wall. These are the wheels. You know, like a mosquito. Because you don't watch the outside line, you spin, you watch the inside line because you're scared about the wall. Here we have walls everywhere. Okay. The wall! Ah! Timing is this one, right? Because it's so, I repeat. Full brake. Reduce the pressure on the brake, train the brake, no brake, come to the apex. I turn the steering, I start to watch very far, keep the steering straight, and the gain speed. When I shift down, when I slow down the car. So, I brake. Do I use the gears to slow down the car?
No.
Easy. I slow down the car with the brakes, and then we'll start to use the braking of the gears just when I start to train the brake. Because in this position I don't have grip on the back. So if I shift down, I don't have nothing from the rear wheels. Could happen, not can happen, could happen that I have a rear lock in the wheels, like the handbrake, because it's very light. But if I start to keep the weight on the back and they start to shift down, I have also the engine that help me to slow down. This is the right technique. So I brake very hard, I stay on the brake. As soon as I will start to reduce the pressure on the brake, I shift down the gears. Key words in the car are gear, gear, gear to shift up, and we shift up with the right paddle. Shift down, 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 to shift down with the left one. Or one more, one more, one more. Depends on the style of the instructor. Is it all clear until now? When we wear the helmet after the shuttle ride, I suggest you to find the right fit of the helmet, because too tight you feel the hair beat. Too wide can go on your eyes. And if I say something, it's because it happened. Yes. Experience. Bad experience. After wearing helmet, you will be ready to go in the car. You will be take the car. You go in the car. You will help you to find the right position with the seat, the right position with the steering. We put the jack. We have a ready check. Okay. When you're ready, you have to press the pedal or the brake pedal. You put the right pedal, and you have the first gear on. This moment, you lift off the brake and you go in the track. You have your experience. You shift up with the full throttle. Okay? You don't need to release the gas to change the gears. You stay full throttle. When you come back from the experience, you stop the car here in the pit lane. You stay on the brake and you pull the two pedals together. You go in neutral. Outside is flat, completely flat. So as soon as you will put the neutral, lift off the brakes, okay? Because they are very hot, and for the path for the disc is better. What happened in the truck? First, when we go in the truck from the pit lane, we will find on the left side a white line. This white line arrives until the end of the main straight line, so before the first corner. This is like a small concrete wall that have not to be crossed, absolutely. Because the cars that arrive from the parabolic corner cross this point about 250 per hour. I always say, imagine that you're coming from the main straight line and you are driving and you see a car coming from the right side and you don't know what the car will do. If the car will cross the road, it will be like someone will ask, did you arrive a bomb? You know, the world is quite unstable in this moment. Did I have to arrive here? If I can help. So you stay on the right side, and in the second lap you stay on the left, because the first corner is a right-hand corner, so we will brake on the left side. While the braking after this line, when we brake, the track limits are the two white lines that we have on the asphalt. Okay? When we brake at 150 per hour, it's very easy to eat 1 meter. If the car moves a bit, eat 1 meter is nothing. So when you brake, don't brake on the white line. Stay 1 meter or more as you feel for safety. 1 meter distance from the white line. It's always safer. And if you try to go near to the white line, we will help you to go far away from the line. If I say something, because it's happened. And grass is very slippery. Okay? Because after the white line we have grass. And this is quite scary. About curbs. In this driving experience, curbs are not allowed for 3 reasons. The first reason is that curbs here are very tall, very high. So we are using street cars, not racing cars. And for suspensions, arms, wheels, it's destroy everything. Okay? Vibrations and everything are very high. Second, it's not a time attack that we have to cut the lines like hell, you know, to have the best time of the day. This is very experience. At the end of the day, you have to have a big smile. Third, we use curbs like safety area if we make a mistake. So if we make a mistake, we have 2.5 meters to take the car back on the asphalt. So we drive between the 2 white lines on the dark gray. This is the color, this is the dark gray. It can happen in the truck that someone have to overtake us, or we have to overtake. Or we are connected by radio with another channel, because we have one channel with you and one channel between us. When someone is in front of us, is slower, we will call the car in front of us and we say, guys, we are coming, we are faster. They will allow us to overtake, and we say, you overtake on the left. It doesn't take time. It takes 1 second. We are coming near to the car. They allowed us overtake on the left, and we go.